If you've ever walked out to your barn carrying an AR-15, a selfie stick, and a Bud Light, you might be a YouTuber. Peter VDB, Very Dirty Britches, Van de Bogart, asked, where'd you get these cool multi-cam gloves? And the answer is, I don't remember, but they're cool. No, that's not what he asked. What he asked was, off-the-shelf AR-15 or custom-built AR-15. Can y'all see my breath? I can. It's chilly. Or, which one? And if so, if I'm going to build one off the shelf, what should I get? How do I know I'm getting quality components? So this is going to be fun because there's going to be lots of chiming in the comments on this, and I'm cool with that. I want to be clear on that. I'm totally cool with that because to a large degree what we're working on here is the hive mind, not just my thoughts and experiences, but all of ours collectively, and we can bring each other up to a higher level. That's actually the idea behind the mastermind that we do here, is that we can all hold each other accountable and move forward, make progress. It's not just about me here. So let's do this. No. 2 different ARs, both of which y'all are familiar here at this channel. Safety check. The DPMS Oracle, off the shelf, no frills whatsoever, and the Recce rifle, Spec Ops Manufacturing, lots of frills rifle. So, should you get a custom rifle or a off-the-shelf rifle? Number one, budget. It takes about $1,000, says me, to put together an entry-level rifle. We've talked about this before. Here's the deal, okay? This weapon, okay, minus this weapon is $500-ish, call it $550. Now you can go to PSA, Palmetto State Armory, and get an optic. I think right now their thing is the Surefire, Vortex Surefire, or Strikefire 2 rather, Vortex Strikefire 2 for $170 with 10 magazines. Cool, get that. Call it $200, okay? So now you're at $750. You got 10 mags. You have some type of optic and a rifle. Okay. You can get, I would love it if you had 1,000 rounds per rifle. Right now at PSA, you can get 1,000 rounds of Federal 55 grain for $349, or I'm sorry, $329 with 10 PMags and a mail-in rebate for $249. So 1,000 rounds of ammo, 10 PMags for $249. That's a phenomenal deal. In fact, I wish I hadn't already gone shopping at PSA this month because I would have bought that already. So, all right, so $1,000 gets you into a rifle, gets you the platform, the optic, and then the ammunition to feed it with on an entry-level rifle. And then I advocate that people have these things. Backup iron sights, okay? So BUIS, backup iron sights, and a light. You're probably looking at another $100 to $200 depending on what route you go there. Again, you can see here, there's backup iron sights. These are Magpul M-Bus, right? Underneath the optic, this is a Vortex 2-7, and then up front, it's right there. So you'll see that. Okay. And then weapons light, which needs a battery, but is still there. So $1,000 is going to get you into an entry-level rifle. Okay, $1,000. $550 for the rifle, and then everything else. $1,000-ish. Maybe $1,100, give or take. Let's hydrate. So that brings us to, that's the off-the-shelf rifle, and there are off-the-shelf rifles that go up in price from there. You can spend $1,100 on some of those cool Cerakoted Colt 6920s. They're beautiful, beautiful guns. You can buy 2 of these for one of those. Is this worth twice one of those? Well, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, because if you have 0 guns, no. If you have several guns, maybe, says T. And first cool functionality beats second cool bragging rights all day, every day, says T. So, if it's your first AR, you may consider getting an off-the-shelf rifle, much like this one, which, as you guys know, I love. Great gun, 4,000-ish rounds plus or minus. If you're playing along in the home game, that's about 10 ammo cans through this gun with 0 issues related to the platform itself. I've had a couple stoppages from ammo, but it was clear that I had good primer strikes, but no bang bang. That's not the gun's fault. So that brings us to this weapon, which is a Spec Ops manufacturing upper on a Runner Guns lower, billet aluminum lower. With the A2 that does the things, and A2, and then all the things here. This is a very good single stage trigger that comes in this weapon, or I'm sorry, in this lower from Runner Guns in McKinney, Texas. Very good. It's crisp. There's very little take up. Here, we'll pull it from this direction so you guys can see. Safety. Let's watch that again. Watch. Yeah. Yeah. Good trigger. So this gun is, this upper was, the lower was about $250. Billet aluminum lower. Yeah, it's A2 furniture, which is nothing special, but the trigger is very good. So for the trigger that you get in this lower, it's worth $250. And again, Runner Guns, McKinney, Texas. Runner Guns, McKinney, Texas. If you want to give them money, you can. I have no affiliation with these people. I just bought some gear from them once upon a time. And they make good stuff, okay? They put this stuff together there in-house, and it's good quality stuff. So the lower was about $250. The upper was, so with the Keymod handguard, and should I get Keymod or M-LOK? I don't care. I don't care. Is M-LOK stronger than Keymod? Maybe. Are you an operator? Probably not. What are you going to use this for? 98.5% chance that you do this with this weapon. It's just look cool. Yeah. Yeah. I'm an operator, right? Like, that's what you're going to do with this thing. You may have to, but I pray that you don't have to fire a shot in anger, ever, from any of your weapons, ever. And that's something, truthfully, I think that we need to delve deeper into here at this channel, because there's a lot of, like, Spec Ops armchair warriors who have this idea that I'm just going to run around putting rounds on target after the world ends, bro. Maybe. May the Most High help you if you need to, because most people are not squared away here, let alone here, to do that. And it takes a toll. So the people that go running around with the mindset that they're going to do that, that's their battle plan for SHTF, is just kill everybody and let God sort them out. I don't want anything to do with that. Because they don't get it and they haven't been there. So, with that being said, let's go back to this weapons platform. 400-ish on the upper, 250-ish on the lower. The upper did not come with this BA charging handle, which is a $90 BCM Gunfighter 2. That puts us in the range of $750, $100 on the bolt carrier group, $850. The, 20 bucks, and, you know, I don't remember, call it 50-ish dollars. We're in the area of $9. Then we go into the Magpul backup sights. We're in the area of $1,000. And then the mount and the scope. This is about a $1,200 rifle when everything is said and done on this rifle. So it's about twice what the off-the-shelf version of this gun would be. How do they shoot? Number one, this gun is definitely more accurate than this one. The black one is not as accurate as the brown one. However, the black one is accurate enough to do what you want it to do. This has 62 grain in it, okay? And shooting 62 grain out of this weapon, you can expect groups about yay big, an inch, inch and a quarter, maybe an inch and a half at 100 meters with my eyes, with my skills, okay? Inch, inch and a half, knowing that this is not a particularly accurate ammunition. It's combat accurate, so I'm cool with it because, look, good enough. I feel like this makes me look like a yokel, or Christos Helios, which is a whole nother story for another time. So, hydrate. Okay, so the black gun, $550 off the shelf, $1,000 to $1,100 fully outfitted with the ammunition to actually use it. And 10+1 magazines. The brown gun, $1,100-ish before you count ammunition, certainly closer to $1,500, put together by me, but not from a parts kit, which is important to understand too. Put together by me, more accurate than the black gun, but definitely more expensive than the black gun. You're looking at, when all is said and done, you add in 1,000 rounds of ammo to this gun, $1,500-ish. If I could only have one, between the two of these, which one is it? Which one is it? Are you guys playing along in the home game? What do you think? If I could only have one AR-15, which one would it be? The DPMS Oracle or the Spec Ops Manufacturing? If I could only have one AR-15, this is the one. Here's why. Second cool. I love this gun factor. I love this gun. I love it. There's no two ways about it. I love it. It is significantly more expensive than the black gun. It's more accurate than the black gun. I mean, 16-inch cold hammer forged barrel, right? Yeah, and look, it's rocking an A2 birdcage. Does it matter? No, because A, I'm not an operator, and B, I'm not a competitive shooter, and C, the guys that blame their A2 birdcage flash hiders for poor shooting aren't good shooters. Are there better ones? Sure. You could put, There's all kinds of compensators you can put on the end of this. You can put a Noveske on there. It's going to make the gun shoot this flat every time you pull the trigger. You know what, though? If you actually know how to shoulder a rifle and lock it in, it shoots that flat anyway. Another story for another time. But I digress. I would go with this gun off the shelf, AR-15, over that brown gun if I could only have one gun, one AR-15. Why? Well, it has a factory warranty. That's a starter. It has a factory warranty. I've had, again, 0 malfunctions with this platform. 0. But this one, I have had stoppages. It's more accurate. The reason, in large part, it's more accurate is because it has much tighter tolerances. Tighter tolerances can lead to decreased reliability. I've had this gun go down. Would I bet my life on it? Yep. Which one am I more confident in? I'm supremely confident, believe it or not, in the black gun. This one, I mean, I do bet my life on it. It's part of a system, but it has failed me. There's a lesson in there because it's all going to fail you anyway sooner or later. But I love this thing. It's just an excellent weapons platform. It's not as good as the black gun, though, as far as reliability goes. More accurate, not as reliable. But inside of here, let's see, there we go. We can crack this thing open. This is just your standard production AR-15 mil speckiness. There will come on, you. Standard, albeit dry, bolt carrier group. Could definitely withstand some lubrication. Standard charging handle. M4 feed ramps, the whole 9, but certainly nothing special, right? And so the point is, it runs. It does what you want it to do. But it also has a lot of, I don't know if y'all can hear this. So the fitment on the handguard, it has some back and forth. And the fitment between the upper and lower, it has some back and forth. Whereas this one, I'm torquing it right now. Nada. Not a thing. So this one is superbly tight. But that superbly tight can become an issue if, I mean, even just getting this pin out. There we go. Need a knife to lift the pin out just to crack it open. Again, a brief look inside. It looks precisely like the inside of an AR-15 would look like. And we'll go here. This is a Midway USA M16 bolt. Nothing special. And the BCM Gunfighter charging handle. Very tight tolerances, though, on this gun. So if I could only have one, if it was my first AR-15 or an AR-15 that I was going to hand to somebody to let them bet their life on, not this one. I would go with the black one 9 times out of 10. So this one, If I could only have one, this one. Everything about this gun is loose, okay? I mean, the whole thing makes noise, it's loose. It's just loose. But because it's loose, I mean, look, even the gas block is held on. You see those two holes on the bottom there? It's held on with Allen screws, okay? The whole gun is loose. But knowing that it's loose, 4,000 rounds later after being loose, not an issue. That's in part why it'll run 4,000 rounds without an issue, because it's loose. It has the room and the tolerances, enough room that it's ultimately reliable, but not so much room that it's not accurate. So it's still printing, we'll call it a 1.5 MOA gun. With the dot sight, I've never put a magnified optic and bench rested this gun, which is important to note. So I don't actually know what it's truly capable of. It's not like I put a 4-14 by 44 scope on this thing, put it in a lead sled, and just gently squeeze the trigger to see where it's printing. So given the dot sight and my eyes at 100 meters, the thing shoots 1.5 inches, I'll take it. So now, moving on, because we spent a lot of time on this, more time than I meant to. What should you look for in a quality weapon? There's a few areas that are ultimately important. The barrel is not something you should compromise on. Cold hammer forged is good. Very, very good, okay? Chrome lined is good. Certain manufacturers have their own proprietary whatever for their barrels, and that's fine. But the barrel is really where the rubber meets the road for accuracy. If you have a bad barrel, you have bad accuracy. You have a good barrel, you have good accuracy. So that's good. You need a good barrel. The furniture, the handguard, pistol grip, and buttstock are all personal preference. Okay? They truly don't matter. If you can shoot this weapon well, right? If you can shoulder this thing well and make this gun work well, you can shoot this one well, or any other rifle well, right? The fundamentals of pointing a rifle don't change based upon the furniture on the gun. So that's all a matter of personal preference. It does not affect functionality, regardless of your buddy's excuses at the shooting range. That's important to note, okay? A lot of people who can't shoot well blame their equipment, not themselves. And then they'll go spend money that they don't really have on equipment they don't really need to make themselves shoot better, rather than going and getting training or buying more ammo and training with what they have on their own. So there's that. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I have certain opinions on this subject. And this is good. We're getting it out. We're airing it out. This is wonderful. So you want a good barrel. The furniture doesn't matter so much. There is absolutely a plus side, though, for having a full-length rail. You see this Picatinny rail that runs across the top here goes the full length of this weapon. That means that my rear sight here and my front sight here are sitting in the same focal plane. Unlike this weapon, where the rear sight is here and the front sight would land on the gas block. You may note there is not a front sight on this weapon currently. There needs to be. We're not there yet, because it's going to take a 1/2-inch riser to bring the pick rail here up so that the front sight will fall in line with the rear sight, or I can put a big A2 front sight post on there, one or the other. That's going to be an issue with a rifle like this, and I do advocate that everybody have backup sights on their weapons. This one is missing the front sight because I need to fix that, and I'll own that. That's on me. But there is a plus side to having a full-length rail like that, where the front sight and the rear sight are sitting in the same focal plane. So that's good to look for. But barrel, bolt carrier. Okay, let's go to bolt carrier. Does it matter which weapon we pick? No, it does not. Can he get his fingies, big grubby gloved fingies in there? Come on, you. There we go. What about charging handle? Here's a standard charging handle. See the little tab there? Do you need a high dollar cool charging handle? Do you need one? No. Are they nice to have? Yup. Where does it really matter? When you're using a magnified optic like this one, where you have, and this one is not the case, but you see the clearance there. See the bell of the eyepiece for the scope, and then the charging handle right here. It's nice to have a big charging handle that you can grab onto when your optic is all the way back there so that you're not hunting for the charging handle. That being said, if you're training, you're charging your weapon with the charging handle one time. After that, you're using the bolt release to reload, right? So you're dropping your mag, coming out, inserting a new mag, coming up, popping that bolt release back on target, and that's a training issue. So this is your standard charging handle. Do you need a crazy expensive cool one? No. Are they nice to have? Yeah, but it's not a deal breaker. And this is just a standard AR-15 bolt. And what you're looking for here is that it has a good coating on it. And this is the factory DPMS bolt that has a kajillion rounds on it. Has a good coating on it. You can see that it's been properly staked. Here that these screws, see how it's tacked in right there? They literally take a punch and they punch the gas key onto those screws so that it can't come off or those screws can't back out. That's good. You're looking for that. If you get one of these out of box and you lube it and the bolt face does not press back and forth into the bolt carrier easily, you need a new one, okay? It's gonna cause issues. What else should we talk about here? Make sure that it not necessarily your bolt, but it came out of a batch of bolts that was properly tested. What's the MPI test, and there's a couple other ones that they do. And basically you're just looking for a quality producer. If you're buying a weapon that is off the shelf and has a manufacturer's warranty, you probably are gonna get a good bolt with it. So barrel, bolt, what else matters, truly matters with the weapon? Some people would say trigger. I think for combat accuracy, the trigger doesn't matter that much. Again, for combat accuracy, where most people are going to complain about the trigger on a weapon, because I mean, here, look, we did the brown one. Let's do this one. Safety off. Watch. Very little take up, but definitely stiffer than the brown one. There we go. So it has slightly more travel, but definitely more pressure than the brown gun. But really, man, for an off-the-shelf rifle, the vast majority of people are going to be well served by a $500-ish weapon. For those that aren't, I recommend something in the $1,000 range, specifically like the Colt 6920. Do you need a SIG MCX? No. Do you need a Barrett? No. Do you need an HK 416? No. Do I need this rifle? No, I don't need it yet, until the balloon goes up. But I don't think anybody needs to spend $2,000+ on a 5.56 platform weapon. Like the Scar, it's cool. It doesn't do a damn thing that either of these rifles don't do. So, and for $2,000 to $2,800 for that weapon system, no thank you. Bushmaster ACR, nah. Bragging rights. That's a range queen. So if you're gonna build one yourself, just look for reputable manufacturers. Now, we talked about off the shelf and we talked about a component gun, but what if you just buy all the parts and build it yourself? Get a good bolt, get a good barrel, make sure that you have a way to properly headspace the barrel. It's gonna matter. It will affect reliability, it will affect accuracy. A charging handle, yeah. Furniture, whatever floats your boat. Flash hider, whatever. Compensator, it's 5.56. It's a 22 caliber round. If you want a compensator, go for it. But if you have a super fancy compensator on your rifle and no food storage, you're doing it wrong. Optics, whatever floats your boat. It's all about philosophies of use. This is a 100-meter gun. That's what this is for. This is get out of my house / off of my yard. That's what this gun is for, okay? 100 meters and in. Can it go past that? Sure. Can I hit a man-sized chest target at 200, 300 meters with this gun? Yeah. 500? Probably. But the size of that little dot that's inside of that Chinese ProTech optic at 500 meters is going to be covering this much. Okay? It's a problem. But at 100 meters and in, non-issue. That's the idea behind this weapon, is that at 100 meters, that's what this gun is for. 100-meter gun, dot sight. This gun, 0 to 300-meter gun. Could I press it past that? Sure. Do I want to shoot a 5.56 past 300 meters? Not really. No. If the threat's at 300 meters, I probably can disengage or bypass. If it's at 500 meters, I need to think long and hard about why am I trying to shoot somebody at 500 meters with a 5.56. For real. That is a giant rat. Should we kill it? My wife would lose it. I should kill it. Oh, it's gone. I looked this way and now it's gone. Cool. All right. Welcome to the bunker, rat. Anyway, this weapon is a 0 to 300-meter gun. Thus the magnified optic, 2 to 7. 2 is good enough for up close, 7 is good enough for far away. So you put whatever optic you want to on there. I recommend MBUS. Shall we recap? You want a good barrel. You want a good bolt. You want to get your components from a reputable manufacturer. Joe's Bait Shop and gunparts.com is probably not the place to buy your parts. Midway USA, Palmetto, oh, come on. Bud's Gun Shop, they all have decent stuff. Midway is where I buy a lot of my stuff that's, you know, parts. Straight up parts come from Midway. Spec Op Manufacturing, their website URL is terrible. I think it's specopmfg.com. They have good uppers, real good uppers. Their barrels are just, it's where the rubber meets the road is the barrel. And their barrels are guaranteed 1 MOA, chrome lined, cold hammer forged barrels. So you might spend $350 for an upper there versus $300 for an upper from, say, Palmetto State Armory, but the upper from Spec Op Manufacturing has a guaranteed 1 MOA barrel in it. Whereas PSA, they make decent stuff for sure. But, you know, you're not going to get 1 MOA out of it. You might get 1.5 inches, 2 inches, maybe even 3 inches. But I have been pleasantly surprised with how tight those PSA guns are. So this has been a long and meandering talk, longer than I anticipated it to be, and I apologize for that. Manufacturer gun or build your own. If gun to my head, if I had to have one, it's this one. That's better track record. That's just a fact. It's not quite as accurate, but it has a better track record. Has slightly looser tolerances that allow it to perform more reliably. If I need crazy good accuracy, this one. This one will shoot match ammunition at .75 MOA at 100 meters. It will do it. I've done it. So what's your philosophy of use? If the idea is to have rifles to hand to people when the world ends, get them off the shelf, bro. They're $500 a piece right now. It's not worth your time to buy the components for $420 and mess around trying to put them together, says me. Just buy one for 500 bucks. If you're trying to build a very cool rifle that turns you on and makes you feel all warm and fuzzy inside when you hold it, like for me, this one that I love, then buy the components, slap that sucker together. So, as always, you know what? As my brother would say, the truth lies somewhere in the middle. I can't hit that little red button with these tactical gloves on. But I hope at the very least this was entertaining. I don't know how informative it was, but yeah, man, that's where I'm at on it. So thank you, Peter Van de Bogart. We've talked on the phone recently. You're a good man. I dig you. So, again, if you're trying to build an army, off the shelf. If you don't have a rifle yet, off the shelf. If you're looking for something cool to pass your time and spend your bucks on, build one. That's where I land on it. I hope this is a help to all of y'all out there in the ones and the zeros land. So, shalom.